Have you ever wished you could read people's minds? Imagine if you could instantly tell when someone is lying, hiding something, or feeling nervous. While this might sound like a superpower, the truth is that anyone can develop this skill. Ancient monks and philosophers have studied human behavior for centuries, and today I will share with you a Buddhist story that holds the key to unlocking this ability. This is not magic, it's science and psychology. Every thought and emotion a person has is reflected in their body. Their eyes shift when they're nervous, their hands fidget when they're anxious, and their voice betrays their true feelings. By the end of this video, you'll learn 3 powerful techniques that will allow you to understand what others are thinking without them saying a single word. But before we begin, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like someone could read your mind? Maybe a friend or family member guessed exactly what you were thinking before you said anything. If so, tell me in the comments. Now let's dive into this extraordinary Buddhist story, which will teach you how to develop this incredible ability. Long ago, in a small village, there lived 2 brothers. The elder brother was blind and spent most of his time at home, while the younger brother worked as a farmer in the fields. One day, the younger brother returned home frustrated. Wild animals had once again destroyed their crops. After thinking carefully, he came up with an idea. Why don't I ask my blind brother for help? He could sit in the fields and alert me if he hears any animals approaching. The next day, the younger brother built a small hut in the middle of the farm and placed his blind brother inside. "Brother, if you hear any animals, just shout and I will come to scare them away," he explained. The blind brother agreed, and from that day on he sat in the hut, listening carefully for any sound of approaching animals. Days passed and the plan seemed to work. But one day, something unusual happened. A deer ran across the field, breaking the fence before disappearing into the forest. Shortly after, a king arrived, chasing the deer. He stopped when he saw the blind man sitting in the hut. "Have you seen a deer pass through here?" the king asked. The blind man calmly replied, "Your Majesty, I am blind. I cannot see a deer. However, I can tell you this. The animal you are chasing is not worth your time." The king was shocked by these words. "How do you know that?" the king demanded, suspicious that the blind man was lying. The blind man explained, "Your Majesty, the deer you are chasing is actually a pregnant doe. It would be unworthy of a great king to hunt a helpless mother-to-be." The king's eyes widened in disbelief. How can a blind man possibly know this? He wondered. To test the claim, the king ordered his men to capture the deer alive. When they returned, they confirmed the blind man was right. The deer was indeed pregnant. The king was now filled with astonishment, but he still had doubts. "Tell me, wise man, how did you know this?" The blind man replied, "Your Majesty, I can understand the world, not through sight, but through sound and behavior. The deer's hurried steps and the weight in its movement told me everything I needed to know." The king was amazed, but he had one more question. The king was so impressed that he decided to put the blind man to an even greater test. "If you are truly wise, answer me this. Is my wife faithful to me?" The blind man remained silent for a moment before answering, "Your Majesty, before I can answer, I must ask for a favor." "What is it?" the king asked. "Let me be alone with your wife for a short moment," the blind man said. The king's expression changed. He did not like the request, but his curiosity was too strong. He ordered his guards to take the blind man to the queen. Once alone, the blind man spoke. "Your Majesty sent me to test your faithfulness. To do so, I must touch your face with my hands." The queen was offended and furious. Without hesitation, She attacked the blind man, hitting him with her hands and feet, pushing him away with all her strength. The blind man did not resist. Instead, he simply left and returned to the king. The king was waiting impatiently. "Well, tell me now, is my wife faithful or not?" The blind man calmly answered, "Your Majesty, your wife is not faithful." The king's face turned red with anger. "How do you know?" he demanded. The blind man explained, "Your Majesty, when I told her I needed to touch her, she reacted with violence. Instead of calmly refusing, she attacked me. A truly faithful woman would have no reason to panic." The king was shocked, but he had one last question. "Then tell me this, am I truly my father's son?" The blind man smiled and replied, "Your Majesty, that is a question you must answer for yourself. However, if you insist, I will tell you the truth." The king, now desperate, demanded, "Tell me now." The blind man spoke, "Your Majesty, despite answering all your questions, I have received nothing in return. So, I deduce that you are just as stingy as the man who raised you." The king burst into laughter. "You truly are wise. But tell me, how do you know all these things without sight?" The blind man explained, "I do not need eyes to see the truth. The mind reveals itself in 3 ways: through the eyes, through body language, and through the voice." The king bowed his head in respect. After witnessing the blind man's wisdom, the king was desperate to understand his abilities. "Tell me, wise man, how can I learn to read minds as you do?" The blind man smiled and replied, "It is not magic, Your Majesty. It is about observing 3 key things: the eyes, the body, and the voice. Let me explain. Watch the eyes, the windows to the mind. The eyes are the most revealing part of the human body. They expose fear, deceit, excitement, and nervousness, even when a person tries to hide their emotions. Here's what you need to look for: avoiding eye contact. When someone won't look at you directly, they might be hiding something. A person telling the truth has no reason to look away. Shifting eyes. If someone looks to the left, they are likely recalling a memory. If they look to the right, they might be creating a story, possibly a lie. Rapid blinking. A sudden increase in blinking indicates stress or discomfort. This often happens when someone is lying or feeling pressured. Dilated pupils. When someone is genuinely interested or excited, their pupils expand. This is a subconscious reaction that cannot be controlled. The blind man explained, "I may not have eyes, but I have learned from others that the truth is always reflected in the gaze. If you want to know what someone is thinking, watch their eyes carefully." 2. Observe body language, the silent language. A person's body tells a story that their words do not. People unconsciously reveal their emotions through their posture, hand movements, and facial expressions. Here's what to pay attention to: crossed arms. When someone crosses their arms, they are blocking themselves off. This is a defensive position, often used when someone feels uncomfortable, insecure, or closed off. Fidgeting. Hands. When people play with their fingers, tap their feet, or touch their face, it often means they are nervous or lying. Leaning. In or away. If a person leans toward you, they are engaged and interested. If they lean away, they are likely feeling uncomfortable or disinterested. Hand gestures. People who are telling the truth tend to use their hands naturally while talking. However, if someone suddenly stops gesturing, they might be hiding something. The blind man said, "People think they can control their words, but they forget that their bodies always tell the truth. Pay attention, and you will see what they are really thinking." Listen to the voice, the hidden emotion. In speech, a person's voice reveals more than their words. Even if someone is lying with their mouth, their tone, pitch, and speed often betray them. Fast talking, speaking too quickly, often signals nervousness. A person might be hiding something and wants to get through the conversation quickly. Pausing too much. Long pauses or hesitation can indicate uncertainty or deception. Tone of voice. A high-pitched or strained voice often means anxiety, stress, or dishonesty. A calm, steady tone suggests confidence and truthfulness. Laughing or smiling while talking. If someone laughs or smiles at inappropriate moments, it might mean they are uncomfortable or hiding the truth, the blind man explained. Words can deceive, but tone and rhythm always reveal the truth. If you listen carefully, you will hear what people are really feeling. After hearing these techniques, the king was amazed. So, you mean that I, too, can read minds? The blind man nodded. Yes, Your Majesty. But before you can read others, you must first learn to calm your own mind. What do you mean? The king asked. Most people are too distracted by their own thoughts to truly observe others. If your mind is focused on the past or the future, you will never see what is happening right in front of you. So what must I do? You must train yourself to be fully present. Only then will you truly understand what others are thinking. The king bowed his head in gratitude. Now that you know these 3 powerful techniques, I challenge you to test them. The next time you have a conversation, watch how people move their eyes, notice their body language, and listen to their tone of voice. Then come back to this video and tell me in the comments, did you notice anything new? If this story fascinated you, make sure to hit the like button so that more people can learn these secrets. And if you haven't yet, subscribe now and turn on notifications, because in the next videos, I'll reveal even more hidden techniques that will change your life. See you in the next video. Don't miss it.